Claudia Schiffer has one of the most recognized faces in the world. One of the original supermodels, this style icon has come a long way since being discovered in a Dusseldorf disco at the age of 17. Countless magazine covers and high-profile ad campaigns later, and Schiffer has now turned her hand to design, creating one of this season's most talked-about new collections.
When I was growing up, my mother was always very fashionable and looked always very elegant, and I had a lot of fashion magazines at home which I read. All I wanted, because I was quite shy, was to just be invisible rather than sticking out. I wanted to just wear what everyone else was wearing in school. When I was younger, I wanted to become a lawyer. I never thought about being a model ever, never even crossed my mind. It was this one time when I was allowed a special treat to go to the big city with all my friends, literally the very first time. This French agent from Paris came up to me and said, "You should be a model," and I just thought that, yeah, he must be joking, can't be serious, there's no way I could be a model. And that's how everything started. My earliest fashion memory is in 1987 when I was asked to come to Paris for a fashion shoot for French Elle magazine. I was still in high school and arrived in Paris, and although I had French and English for a long time in school, didn't understand a word anyone was saying in the photo studio. Guess Jeans was incredible because, number one, I never wanted to become a model, and number two, I definitely didn't want to become famous either. That was not one of my goals or dreams ever. I suddenly had people coming up on the street to me asking for my autograph, which was a very, very strange feeling and very confusing. But that's the impact it had in America and then later on in Europe as well. No one had warned me that this might happen. I just wanted to do a really good job and be one of the best models there was, and never even crossed my mind that that could be part of it, that you could be well known or could be in the press for other reasons. It never even crossed my mind. During the 90s, it's just a crazy time. It was very exciting, but we didn't really know what was going on around us. It was only much later in retrospect that you realized what a special time it was. Some of the most memorable moments were from, of course, from when I was discovered and that excitement of going for the first time to Paris, working for Vogue magazine with Herb Ritts, who was one of the best photographers of that time, and to working with Richard Avedon on Gianni Versace campaigns, to doing the Valentino campaigns, to my first runway show with Karl Lagerfeld at Chanel, meeting him for the first time. I mean, there's so many moments I will never forget that were really special. Well, over the years, I've been now for over 20 years in the fashion industry. You really understand, what you like, what you want, what you think is maybe missing that you were always looking for, and you understand what quality stands for, what great tailoring stands for, and that's where my love for my dreams for one day designing something by myself started. I never wanted to put my name to something that I didn't believe, a product I didn't believe in myself. I'm the creative director of the brand. I have complete creative control, therefore I can make sure that creatively it looks exactly how I want it to be. Naturally, cashmere is something I've always loved. So when I walk into a store and I have to pick out something between shoes, jeans, cashmere is always the first thing. And that's why it felt natural to me to start with that. The quality of cashmere has always been something I was very adamant about. I wanted the cashmere to feel really good and have a great quality. I wanted the pieces to be long-term. Cashmere sweaters that I have got in my own closet, I pull out again 10 years, 20 years later, and that kind of a quality that never goes bad. It's important how it feels on your skin, and if you wash it over and over again, it doesn't change. It still has the same feel of it. I am taking a risk here, although it's very exciting because I love what I've done. I love my collection, but at the same time it's very scary because I don't know if this enthusiasm I have translate into people who actually will buy it. All of these pieces are exactly what I would wear and what I would want in my everyday life. Bringing my kids to school, going to work, going to a meeting. Maybe this extends through into the evening where I don't have time to change. But also in my personal life, I love accessories. These kinds of clothes are perfect for that. They're just really quick throw-ons that you then accessorize and you look great. I have days as well when I'm really tired and I just want to feel cozy in a big boyfriend sweater, and I have days where I've eaten too much and actually I don't want to wear anything tight, so I want to wear like a loose sweater dress, and all those considerations that happen in everyone's lives. One of my favorite pieces is an A-line dress, which I think is one of those easy pieces that you can always pull out again over and over again, even later in years, because it's one of those things you just throw on again, just accessorize, either with ankle boots, cool high-heeled ankle boots, or high with the knee boots. I personally would wear a lot of heavy jewelry with it because the knits are quite chunky and quite thick, luxurious, and I think something too thin wouldn't be right. I'd wear it with like heavy cuffs, for example, Car Ross is one of my favorites of the moment. And then, any kind of handbags for the daytime, and then you can mix in the evening, just put an evening handbag to it. That's sort of how I do it, how I dress it up. I am very inspired by the 60s and 70s, and I'd go a lot on research. When I do my mood boards, for example, I use those images quite a lot, and one of the ones that always pop into my mind is the images of Jane Birkin. They're very, very cool, and I've used them a lot. I'm a quite shy person. I don't know if people know that about me. I am terrible at telling jokes, and therefore I never tell them. I like sushi and sake very much. Ideally, I could have that every night. Of course, I don't. Well, one of the things I must have are black leather Alexander McQueen ankle boots, very high, but they look really good. They're for me a must-have. I can't wait to buy them. And I've seen them on Net-a-Porter. I'm gonna buy those.